Welcome to the Tech Through Time Show.
The podcast where history meets innovation.
I'm your host, AJ, and today we have...
Lily,
Piper, and Caden.
every week we dive into the stories behind the tech that changed the wars.
So whether you're a history buff, a tech nerd, or just curious about the past, you're in the right place.
Before we plug into the past...
Here's our sponsor.
Our sponsor message is from Flint Lockwood. Tired of tripping over your shoelaces? Say goodbye to all that with spray-on shoes. These shoes provide instant comfort and never come off. Warning, they might never come off.
Opening music, jingle, and sound effect.
Okay. Okay. What were you guys planning? Well, I missed the briefing today. What are we guys What are we talking about today?
So, how did the 2020s tech developments affect World War II?
Okay. What do you want to start with? I can talk about like automotives.
Let's talk about the United States and how they had the greatest numbers of military vehicles and highest numbers of production.
Oh, okay. So like the American industry for vehicles was high already because of Ford and GM were already making high numbers of.
Whoa, really?
That's crazy.
High numbers of that type of stuff. I mean, it's definitely was a big part leading into the war.
What about the 50,000 M4 Sherman?
M4 Shermans. That was definitely helped. That was the most produced tank I think in history, for sure in World War II. It was a great tank. It was a medium tank. It was the idea of like quantity over quality. It was still not terrible. It was
trash.
It wasn't trash. The Panzer II is trash.
Did it kill a lot of people?
Yes.
Oh,
Period.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it in jail?
There is one in a jail, so
Wait, seriously?
yeah, there is.
Oh, wow.
There's one in a state prison for a history.
What? Is he just gonna climb out and escape and kill everyone?
No, it's a nerd. It doesn't
Well,
work
I mean,
anymore.
when we really think about it, is that really like
Is
what
it-
we expect? Because we literally turned Christmas lights into like explosives.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. The
Guess you can say you had an explosive Christmas.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell, right?
No, you did it wrong. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell, boom!
Yeah.
that's a good point. That was the VT fuse. It was a high explosive artillery shell that would be fired at planes, and it would explode because it was proximity. It would, from its inertia, would spew acid from the vial, which was a Christmas light originally, making a power via melting lead, and
Did
it would
the
power the
target
radar.
explode while, like, let's say, did it explode like this? Like,
So it didn't.
It has
direct,
a proximity radar.
So it didn't direct it. So like, let's just say like this is your bomber. Okay.
It can detect if you're about to touch it.
So this is the bomber, right? This is the artillery battery. It's shooting these fuses at it, and if it's here, it's gonna fire this high explosive round, sending shrapnel into the plane, sending it there.
Shrapnel.
Yummy! I
Fire
love shrapnel.
shrapnel.
It's a light snack.
It's a light snack there.
Yeah, I mean,
They-
like 18,000 normal anti-aircraft rounds was like the average to take down a single enemy bomber.
Yeah, a normal.
And that's compared to 3 rounds of a VT fuse.
Yeah, that's about the numbers. Those numbers are from the British originally. The rounds firing from anti-aircraft batteries. That was on land, so it was easier to fire, and it was compared to naval, which is what they were used for a very long time because military did not want this technology getting in the hands of anyone.
Right.
Because
why?
yeah, I wonder why. It would have.
knows?
American bombers were
Who knows?
big. American bombers were gigantic. Okay, they had fuel in the wings. They were susceptible to literally anything.
Bird hits the plane.
They would blow up birds. They would. The VT fuse, if it got too close to a bird, would go.
Maybe that's what they should have done.
We're having
instead
chicken
of strapping
tonight,
bombs. Wiener dogs.
Chicken
Kentucky.
Our next point, what about the radio?
We're on the radio as we speak.
But for the radio, it was originally designed to broadcast large amounts of information between distances. It was for radio broadcasts, for like talking to the people, and it was also for music. It was adapted during World War II for commerce between two armies, or a general and a frontal unit. It was really prominent in tanks. Tanks definitely. Shut up. Tanks definitely. Tanks definitely helped it a lot, because like Soviet tanks. I'm not letting you take this over. Soviet tanks didn't have radios. They had one radio to the commanding tank. The commanding tank had a radio, but to talk to command, and that was it. So they couldn't communicate with each other. The Germans, we're not talking about bombs. We're not talking about nuclear warheads. That could be another episode, okay?
Well, do you think people listen to music while they were attacking their enemies?
Don't worry, folks,
no,
we'll talk about that
was a
next
problem. That was a proposed problem by the British when they started implementing them. So they actually removed it from being able to get.
So
to
they
the radio.
took like the music stations off of
It's like
radios
distracting.
and shit.
It's like how schools are these days, taking away music from kids.
But no, it let them communicate with them. So imagine being in a box, and you have 4 other dudes.
We are currently in a box.
Yeah, we have okay. You have these 4 people. We are fighting a war, and we need to hit a bunch of.
You first.
Okay.
Free food.
You're the gunner. I'm yelling at you to how to shoot this tank. Okay. I'm the commander. I'm looking at the cupola. I can barely see anything. I tell you to shoot the wrong thing because I don't know where anyone else is. I shoot a friendly.
Oh, and then it's. And
No,
then we're
I
just
tell you,
putting
you're an
friendly
idiot.
Fire,
That's a friendly.
fire!
No.
Yeah.
You're banned.
Commander, you're an idiot. That's a friendly.
It would be the gunner and my fault and the driver for not.
Not
being
sure.
Why am I the gunner?
Guys, all I did was exist.
Exactly.
Right. Why
That's
am
the
I?
problem.
Why
It's
am
everyone
I?
else's at fault.
You guys had anything else for this episode?
In this episode, we talked about how technology advances during World War II and how it changed the course of war life. We covered important inventions like radios, VTs, and tanks. We also looked at how these advancements helped the battlefield beyond. It's clear World War II technology didn't just shape history, it also shaped our future.
And before we leave this episode, we are going to talk about War Thunder, because that is one of our sponsors. You guys interrupting me, how dare you. War Thunder is an extreme action game, designed to be really realistic, and that is part of the reason, thus talking about in-depth of parts and components of these planes and tanks was part of the reason they sponsored us. They go down to minute details like the breech of the gun, the ammo in the gun, the radio can be knocked out, all of that is important. There's VT fuses. Everything we talked about in this episode is inside of War Thunder, like the import Sherman. If you want to go try that out yourself, use our code.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will this destroy kids' minds
No.
and want to become violent?
No. Because I said so. No.
If you'd like to try it for yourself, use our code Thunderbirds for free in-game items.
The M4 Sherman and the P-51 Mustang. Cheers. This is Editing AJ here. Hope you guys did enjoy the podcast. Subscribe and come back for another one.